Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt trapped inside your own thoughts, as if your mind has built invisible walls around you? Maybe you have had mornings where you wake up and already feel defeated before the day begins. Your inner voice whispers, "Nothing will change. Life is too hard. I am not strong enough." These words sound real, but in truth, they are only shadows of fear and doubt. And yet they can shape how you live every single day. Now imagine something different. Imagine that instead of waking up with fear, you wake up with a thought like, "Today may be difficult, but I can handle it." That single thought feels lighter, doesn't it? It opens the door to hope, energy, and action. This is the heart of positive thinking. It is not about pretending problems don't exist. It is about facing life with courage and deciding to lean into strength instead of weakness, hope instead of despair. In this episode, we will explore together how powerful your thoughts really are. You will practice English listening and shadowing at the same time, so you improve both your language and your mindset. By the end, you will learn how to shape your inner voice, how to build resilience, and how to choose thoughts that support your dreams instead of blocking them. This is not just English practice, it is life practice. And it all begins with one choice, the choice to see things differently. And if this lesson gave you something useful, I'd love it if you tapped like and subscribe to the channel. It helps you stay connected, and it also helps this little learning community grow. Every click really does make a difference. With love, let's dive in. What exactly is positive thinking? Positive thinking is often misunderstood. Some people believe it means smiling all day, ignoring pain, or acting as if life is perfect. But that is not true at all. Positive thinking is a mental habit, a decision to focus on solutions instead of being stuck in problems. It is the ability to look at a challenge and say, "Yes, this is difficult, but there is something I can do." That simple shift in thought can completely change your experience of life. Think about a time when you told yourself, "I can't do this." How did your body feel? Probably heavy, tired, and powerless. Now think of the times you said, "This will be hard, but I can try." Suddenly your body feels lighter. You may even feel a little stronger. That is the effect of positive thinking. The words you tell yourself matter because they create emotions, and those emotions guide your actions. It's important to understand that positive thinking does not erase reality. It does not say everything is fine when it isn't. Instead, it says, "Even if things are hard, I will not give up." That is the balance. You see life clearly, but you choose to focus on possibility. Over time, this mindset becomes like a muscle. The more you practice it, the stronger it grows. And when that muscle is strong, you will find that challenges no longer break you. They build you. Why do negative thoughts feel so powerful? Have you noticed how fast negative thoughts enter your mind? Sometimes they arrive before you even take your first step in the morning. Negative thoughts feel strong because they come from a place of fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown. And fear is very convincing. It makes you think you are being realistic. But in truth, you are often just repeating a story you have told yourself again and again. Imagine this. You want to try something new, like speaking English in public. A negative thought appears. "Don't do it, you'll embarrass yourself." That thought feels safe because it stops you from taking a risk. But what is the result? You don't grow, you don't learn, and you stay exactly where you are. This is why negative thoughts feel powerful. They pretend to protect you, but actually, they are keeping you trapped. When we understand this, we can begin to challenge the negative voice. We can ask, is this thought true, or is it just fear? Most of the time, the thought is only fear pretending to be truth. By shining a light on it, you weaken it. You open the door to positive thinking, which says, yes, this may be scary, but I will learn from it. That shift allows you to grow. Negative thoughts may always visit, but you do not have to give them power. Can changing thoughts really change life? It may sound too simple, but yes, changing your thoughts can change your life. Every action begins with a thought. If the thought is weak, the action will be weak. If the thought is strong, the action will be strong. That is why it matters so much what you say to yourself every day. Imagine two people waking up. The first one tells themselves, today will be another bad day. Before anything has even happened, they already feel defeated. They carry this heavy mood into every part of their day, work, relationships, and even small tasks. The second person wakes up and says, today may bring me something good. That small thought gives them energy. They notice opportunities. They speak with more kindness. Their day feels lighter, not because the world is different, but because their mind is different. This is how thoughts shape reality. It is not magic. It is psychology. Thoughts influence emotions. Emotions influence behavior. Behavior creates results, and results become your life. When you choose to think positively, you set in motion a cycle that builds strength, courage, and action. Of course, you cannot control everything in life, but you can always control the story you tell yourself. That story can be one of defeat or one of hope. Which story will you choose? Is optimism just blind hope? Many people confuse optimism with ignoring reality. They think optimistic people are dreamers who refuse to see problems. But that is not true optimism. Real optimism is a clear, honest look at life, combined with the belief that there is always a way forward. It is strength, not denial. Picture a storm. A pessimist says, the storm will destroy everything. There is no hope. An optimist says, the storm is dangerous, but I can stay safe, I can rebuild, and I can look for the sunlight that comes after it. Both people see the storm, but one chooses despair, while the other chooses resilience. Optimism is not about escaping pain. It is about having the courage to walk through pain with faith. When you are optimistic, you accept that life can be hard, but you also believe in recovery, in healing, and new chances. That belief gives you energy to keep going when others give up. And here's the secret. Optimism is contagious. When you practice it, people around you feel it too. Your positive outlook can inspire others to keep moving, even in difficult times. So optimism is not blind hope. It is active, brave, and deeply practical. It helps you rise above despair and move into possibility. How does gratitude help positive thinking? Gratitude is one of the strongest tools for positive thinking. Why? Because it changes where your attention goes. Without gratitude, the mind naturally focuses on what is missing. We think about what we don't have, what we failed at, and what went wrong. Gratitude interrupts that pattern. It shifts your attention toward what is already good in your life. Think about this. If you lose a job, your first reaction may be stress and fear. But gratitude allows you to also see, I still have my health, I still have my skills, I still have people who support me. That doesn't erase the challenge, but it gives you strength to face it. Gratitude builds a foundation of positivity, even when times are hard. Another benefit of gratitude is how it affects emotions. When you name something you are thankful for, your brain produces feelings of calm and happiness. It lowers stress and increases energy. Over time, this becomes a habit. You begin to naturally look for the good instead of the bad. The practice doesn't have to be big. Each night, you can write down 3 small things you are grateful for. It could be a meal you enjoyed, a kind word from a friend, or even the fact that you made it through the day. These little moments train your mind to stay positive. Gratitude is like fuel for optimism. Why does action matter in positive thinking? Positive thinking without action is incomplete. It may feel nice to tell yourself, "I believe in myself," but if you never act, the belief remains only words. Action is the proof of your mindset. It is the bridge between your thoughts and your reality. Think about learning English. If you believe you can improve but never practice, nothing changes. But if you practice daily, even when it's hard, your belief grows stronger. You begin to see progress, and that progress fuels even more positive thinking. This is why action is so important. It creates evidence that your positive mindset is real. Action also fights fear. Many times we feel anxious because we imagine problems that might come. But once we take a step forward, the fear becomes smaller. For example, speaking to someone in English for the first time feels scary. But after you do it once, you realize it is possible. The next time becomes easier. Positive thinking says, "I can." Action says, "I did." Together, they create confidence. And confidence is the engine that keeps you moving forward. Remember this, every big change in life begins with one small action. And every small action makes your positive thoughts stronger. What role does resilience play? Resilience is the ability to keep going, even after falling down. It is one of the greatest gifts that positive thinking gives us. Without resilience, every challenge feels like the end. With resilience, every challenge becomes a lesson. When life pushes you down, your first reaction may be pain, frustration, or sadness. That is natural. But positive thinking whispers, "This is not the end. You can rise again." Resilient people do not avoid pain. They experience it fully, but they refuse to let it define them. They use it to grow stronger. Imagine a tree in a storm. The wind is strong, the rain is heavy. Some trees break, but a tree with deep roots bends and then stands tall again. Positive thinking is like those roots. It grounds you, it holds you, and it allows you to survive storms. Resilience is not about never failing. It is about how quickly you stand up after failure. And every time you rise, you discover more strength within yourself. Positive thinking gives you the courage to keep rising, to keep moving, and to keep believing. That is resilience in action. How does positive thinking change relationships? The way you think about yourself affects the way you treat others. When your mind is negative, you often see people as problems. You expect disappointment, you feel mistrust, and you close your heart. But when your mind is positive, something different happens. You approach people with openness, patience, and kindness. Positive thinking helps you forgive faster. It helps you listen with more attention. It gives you the belief that others can grow, just like you can grow. This does not mean ignoring unhealthy or toxic behavior. It means not letting bitterness or suspicion control your relationships. Think about how it feels to be around someone who is always negative. Their energy makes you feel heavy. Now imagine being around someone who is hopeful and encouraging. Their energy lifts you up. That is the power of positivity in relationships. Another beautiful part is that positivity attracts positivity. When you live with optimism, you naturally draw people who also believe in kindness, growth, and hope. Together, these connections create stronger, healthier relationships. Positive thinking is not just for your inner life. It spreads outward, shaping the way you love, connect, and build trust with others. Is positivity a daily choice? Yes, absolutely. Positive thinking is not something you practice once and then forget. It is a daily decision, a discipline you return to again and again. Some mornings, positivity may feel natural. Other mornings, it will feel difficult. But each day, you have the power to choose. Think of positivity like exercise. If you stop moving your body, the muscles grow weak. But if you train consistently, the strength remains. Your mind is the same. If you let fear and doubt guide you, they grow stronger. But if you practice optimism daily, it becomes your natural way of thinking. This practice can be as simple as starting your day with a positive statement. You might say, "Today I will look for good things," or "I am capable of handling what comes." It may not erase every problem, but it will shape your mindset. Over time, this choice becomes a lifestyle. Positivity moves from being something you do to being part of who you are. You begin to notice that your thoughts are lighter, your actions are bolder, and your energy is brighter. Choosing positivity daily is like choosing to water a garden. With patience, it grows into something beautiful. How can you begin today? The first step is awareness. Notice your thoughts. Pay attention to the words you tell yourself. When you hear your inner voice say, "I can't," stop and gently replace it with, "I will try." This small change creates a new path in your mind. Next, practice gratitude. Each morning or evening, name 3 things you are thankful for. They can be simple: a warm meal, a smile, or the fact that you kept going today. Gratitude is like training your eyes to see light, even in the middle of darkness. Then, take action. Choose one small step toward a goal, no matter how small it seems. Every action proves to your mind that your positive thoughts are real. Finally, remember that positivity is not about being perfect. It is about direction. Some days you will feel strong, other days you will feel tired. That is normal. The important thing is to keep choosing hope over despair, faith over fear, and action over paralysis. By training your mind with positivity, you are not only improving your English right now, you are reshaping your whole life. You are building resilience, confidence, and purpose. And that, my friend, is the greatest lesson of all. Today you can begin. Today you can choose to think differently. And with that choice, your life will begin to transform. And if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss the next lesson. Your support means so much. It keeps this space alive and growing. With love, thank you for being here, and I can't wait to continue this journey with you.